Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
Someone just sent me an Instagram video of a bloke who's done naught but eat raw chicken for 3 weeks. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Eating raw chicken until I die.
Or till I feel sick or something after.
Yeah, which to me just goes to prove I watch far too much fucking internet.
Well, I got it sent, to be fair, so I didn't go out my way to find it.
I think I found it, yeah.
Dear me, Tony. The shit you do. So, it is episode 70.
It is.
I think. Which is an easy one to remember because you can't really forget 69, can you?
No. I know we're born in 70.
Was you actually? 18 years. 18 years difference. You won't tell, would you?
I'd left school and started work by the time you fucking left school. By the time you were born.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Bloody
oh,
no.
Right, big lad.
I'm having a little sip.
You having a beer? That's all right.
No, it's early, but
fucking beer.
I've just had a microwave meal and it was so spicy and I've not got no like pop or anything. So I had to have some. My mouth's on fire.
Right, here we go. Welcome to episode 70 of the Chippy Tea podcast. What is the Chippy Tea podcast? I hear you all ask. Hey, Tony, what is the Chippy Tea podcast? It is your chance to catch up on a video call and gate crash it, really, between me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny D, Flipping Sweet Print Co. Hey up.
With a cheeky wink. As we catch up on what we've been doing this week, where we've been, what we've been doing, what we've been printing, what went right, what went wrong. And, you know, there's a few tangents in between, but there's never any guarantees in life. So we'll kick it right off with, because I stole pretty much all of the airtime last week, what were you doing this week, Danny?
Oh, do you know what? It's a bit of a... This week I've really got according to plan, to be honest. I fully expected to have some nice show and tells for you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them. Where are they?
Don't be printing yet. No, we ran into a little stumbling block. The press has been sat waiting to run a 6-colour job. I was a screen short and something happened. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want anybody to get a bad impression of something, a certain company, because there's no negative feeling towards what's happened. It's just a bit of bad luck's happened, and anyway, I'm waiting for some.
Was that the only screen you had?
It's the only screen at that size.
Oh, is it because of the length?
Well, all six.
But you're only were it all 6 that were bad?
Yeah, five of them were tight. But I sort of forced them in, and then one of them was way off.
It just won't go in.
I couldn't get it in. Yeah. But anyway, it's been put right tremendously. You can't fault it at all. So it set me back. What I should have done is this week, yesterday, I should have been. In fact, to be honest, it should have been Wednesday. Wednesday, I should have done job number 1, 6 colours. Today, I'd have done job number 2, 6 colours, and then Monday, job number 3. And then Wednesday, job number 4. I've got 4 6-colour jobs all lined up, all expecting to use those screens. And it's
you've only got 6 screens?
Yeah, only got 6. So all 4 jobs are 6 colours, full size, 18-inch tall. So I have sort of got away with printing 18-inch on the standard size screens, but only a 1 colour. And that's pushing it. It's a little bit uncomfy with the mechanism getting a bit too close.
Yeah.
So I've got some new screens made, 3 inches longer, specifically to do with this set of jobs more than anything, which I've not been able to do. But you make you keeps you on your feet, doesn't it? You adapt, and I suppose.
Well, you've got.
I suppose I could. Yeah, I could show you show and tell. It's just not very interesting. Did a couple of jobs. Printed some gold and black on black. Quite a nice
Black
effect.
on black. All right, yeah. What did you use? Really thin down, pissy black.
No, I actually used because he quite wanted a glossy finish. So it was straight out at pot. Straight out at pot. Max Opaque. So that's quite a thick ink. So one
really
hit of that.
Yeah,
you get quite a good effect. I did think about using HD Clear because that would look cool. Because that's glossy.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot black on black, but.
And the thing with HD Clear is that the hotter you get the dryer, the glossier it looks.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard that. Yeah.
You turn your dryer up a little bit and keep it in a little bit longer, it actually goes more wet look, more glossy, the more heat you apply.
I am fully intended to play a little bit with those inks again. I think we'll do some eye build again, and I actually created my own little puff effect. So instead of using a puff additive, just, as instructed, straight out at pot, 10% or whatever it is, I can't remember. I did create quite a good puff effect using high build screens and HD Clear. Or was it HD? What's the other one? HD Gloss? Not HD Gloss, is it?
Rock base?
No.
It was rock base, sculpture base.
Oh, HD Clear and HD Sharp.
Yeah, Sharp, yeah.
Anyway, mixing a little concoction up. I got quite a good puff effect. So I want to play about it a little bit. Got some orders to catch up on first, so.
Got to earn some money first.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm having. I'm going back to this thought I had, and it's nagging at me now, and I think I'm going to try it. So if you remember early on when I got the auto, I considered moving the dryer to its own place somewhere else, and then as I'm printing,
Flashing
the t-shirts are flashed and stacking, and then just processing all the orders at the end of the day through the dryer and almost using it as a quality control check, a way to eliminate, because I'm on my own, when I print a job, runs through dryer, drops into a box and crumples up, and then I have to stack them, and you know what I mean? Lay them all out and fold them. It takes away that. I'm really tempted to try it, see how I get on, because it would buy me a lot more space. I've never heard of it.
Well, it does work, and like I've said before, in Middle East, in Jordan specifically, that's what they do across 4 big oval machines. But they have a team of people on QC who, 8 people's only job it is to pass it through the dryer. It's the curing process. The curing team and the QC team are the same thing, so it gets 100% QC check and cured at the same time, even though it is actually touch dry.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm sort of thinking. If I get part-time helping, that could be someone to quality control, cure, stack and pack and fold and polybag, and all those little finishing touches. Almost just somebody dedicated to that who comes in a couple of days a week. Once let's just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I get stacks of orders ready, and then someone comes in Thursday, Friday, gets them sorted, stacked up against the wall, ready to be collected. End of the day. Something I'm sort of thinking about doing. I think what I'll probably do, I'll probably just try it. I'll probably just print some jobs, no cure.
Suck it and see.
Yes, see what happens. But yeah, it's really bugging at me because it'll buy a fair bit of space downstairs where I'm printing.
You need the space.
Oh yeah. I need the space. The space. I'm getting by, but if I can get away with running them through end of dryer, end of day, I'll see how it goes. Because it's you're losing something and you're gaining something, aren't you? You just got to wait up and see what works out best.
I think it only works if you've got somebody to help you. If you haven't got anybody to help you, then it's creating another job for you to go back and do. When you think the job's done, you've actually got another task to perform before all happens.
It is, but then there are times where I'm waiting for shirts to run through dryer because it's slow. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking I could run that press, at a faster rate. The jobs will stack up far quicker than what I'm doing now. I might print a couple of jobs and stood waiting for them to run through. I feel like I'll get more jobs actually printed at the end of the day than I will do at the minute.
Yeah, I think it's something you need to look at when
testing, innit?
Yeah, when day's full as well. When you're running out of production time. But I don't think you are at the minute. Are you? You're not really running out of production time at the minute.
I've got enough bloody production time.
And
bloody behind even more now.
Well, that's good.
What do you mean? Do you think I'm caught up? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
No. Oh no. Oh no. My wall is full of orders that need doing.
Is it? Oh, that's good.
Yep. Very full. So
Can't pay for that press somehow.
Yeah, well, it wants paying off end of the year. It's a big. I think we talked about what's the next challenge, the next goal, ambition, getting it paid off by end of the year, finding a bigger space.
Yeah,
and a bigger space.
Bigger space, bigger dryer, then that problem goes away then, doesn't it?
Yeah, it solves it all, doesn't it? I'm just trying to make do with what I've got temporarily. Yeah. Where are you?
Viva Las Vegas, baby.
Are you? Bloody hell.
I'm in Las Vegas. I'm right on the strip where Fremont Street is, which is that big street with the it's like an LED screen that goes from one end of the street to other in
no way
above in roof. It's a strange place. It is definitely a strange place. It's the second time I've been, and it's I can't really explain Las Vegas. I think it's something you have to come and do. For me, it's completely different. Number one, I'm here for work. Number two, I don't gamble. I don't really do anything that's on offer here. and in Vegas, everything's on offer here.
Yeah.
I once described it as everything that's wrong with society concentrated in one place. But it's probably a little unfair. But
it looks like my idea of hell, to be honest. I'm not a busy city person at all, in the slightest. But
it's Amsterdam with LEDs up its arse, basically.
Yeah, I get that. Did you know, though?
Oh, I wondered why your screen went dark.
I'm not touching my mouse. It's just the camera. It's adapting. Did you know the Las Vegas Strip in Vegas? It's geographically a technicality, and instead of being in Las Vegas, the Strip is actually in Clark County, Nevada, with a majority located in the aptly named Paradise Township.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Oh, you did.
I didn't. I tell you why. Last time I was here, we had a bit of a cancellation, so I had some free time on my hand. So I thought, well, I'm here. I might as well go do the Strip and walk on the Strip. And I thought my hotel was on the Strip, because it's loud and there's music and there's LEDs everywhere. And I thought, okay, this must be where it is. And I did a bit of Googling, and it's like, actually, it's about 8 miles away from where I am.
Yeah.
I'm in downtown Las Vegas, the town called Las Vegas. And like you say, the actual, where everybody goes to look, the Strip is not here. It's an Uber ride away. And I took an Uber and I walked the entire Strip from one end where sign is to other.
Is it quite long?
This year. God, yeah. It's a hell of a walk. It took me all day.
I'm going to say, you say that to me, it sounds like that's a hell of a trek, innit? It looks an enormous place.
Oh, I've run out of battery. What's going on?
Oh, no.
This is going well, isn't it?
Battery for what? Your laptop?
No. Phone.
You do this every episode, to be fair. At some point in every episode, you're like, oh, where's my charger gone?
Well, bear in mind, I don't even have a plug socket near where I am. It went from 100% to 10% in like 2 minutes, though.
Oh, shit.
It was 100% when we started, and now it's 10.
Flipping hell. Is that better?
Yeah. Well, I plugged it into a battery. Let's see. Battery will probably run out now.
Typical. So yeah, you're in a lovely looking hotel room. Is that on the strip?
No, so this is in downtown Fremont Street.
All right.
Which is why, at 1 a.m. in the morning, there's still a rock concert outside, and it still, it sounds like you're in the middle of Wembley. So sleep's just an option.
I'm gonna say I got to.
The last time I
text
went down
from you.
strip, it is really strange because they do keep the lighting at such a pace where you don't know what time of day it is. It is. It's all about extracting as much money as possible. You're a bingo goer, yeah? You've been to Mecca or wherever it is.
I've been to bingo, yeah. I've been a couple of times. I've been.
You know how easy it is to spend money at bingo.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't have to get out of your chair. Somebody comes and brings you money, change. Everything's there. Press of a button. You don't have to move. You want a drink, they bring it to you. You want food, they bring it to you. For heaven forbid, you should get out your chair and stop spending money.
Yeah.
Well, think about that on steroids.
Oh, God. Yeah. I can't imagine it, honestly. I don't think it'd be something that...
You have to be here. You can't imagine it unless you're here. And my mum once said, I've been to Vegas. Oh, you went to Vegas? I've been there. Oh, you won't get over that noise. It's what, the music? No. People? No. The noise of all them coins falling in machines and coming back out again. Well, constant. You don't hear that anymore. Is it all
cashless?
So it's either cashless or it eats paper money. You feed your paper money in. So the people just sit there and feed the paper money in all day. And then you just get a ticket if you win.
Wow. God. There must be so many people who have gone there and overnight gone from having money to nothing at all.
So this is why I like breakfast. I like breakfast in Vegas. Because 6, 7 o'clock, you go down to the hotel, which is also a casino, and there's a breakfast bar there, and you see the people. And you know which ones are the winners and which ones are the losers, just by the... a bacon sandwich. Oh, champagne for everybody. It's so funny.
God, I mean, it just sounds like everything that I would dislike. But I guess it's something that you would have to experience at some point. I feel like it's one of those where you're like, you should go experience it. Just once, get it out of your system. I'm sure it'd be an enjoyable place. I mean, according to my facts, which I've not got written here, there is more to do in Vegas than just gambling. Apparently, it's like unreal for food, the restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what it says on here. Can't argue with my facts.
Like I say, when you go down onto strip, where it's big business to extract as much money out of you as possible. And if that means creating a top-notch restaurant, there's Gordon Ramsay and stuff's here, and all that stuff, then 100%. There's great enticements to get you in. Because once you're in, you're spending money.
Joe, what's the purpose of your visit, then?
No, this is a return visit. This is a 5-year anniversary return visit. When I first started consulting, did you know I'm a print consultant? I don't know, I mentioned it. Yeah, 35 years experience, yeah. So when I first
started... That's a bit overqualified, isn't
it? Yeah, you only need 3, apparently.
Nowadays.
So when I first started this job, I did the Long Beach show in the January, and then we did Dallas and Fort Worth in the October. And at that show, met this big character of a guy who bought the press from the show. And then he wanted to know how to use it. He only had like a little workhorse before that. So I went in, and a friendship was formed between Arvin. Mr. Las Vegas is stored in my phone as Mr. Las Vegas.
Mr. Las Vegas.
And a friendship was formed.
Does he wear a suit and dark glasses at all times?
He's about 8 foot tall. He's a big guy. And we helped him start his journey, and we put this 6'8", same as you've got, in his 2-car garage.
Wow, nice.
With a little buddy dryer, smaller than what yours is. And, we couldn't get past to get to the kitchen. We had to walk all the way around the house to get to the kitchen. But I had a fantastic time. We taught him a few, it was great to see him on his journey. And I've been following him ever since. He's on Instagram, Solid Promo Prints. And
I'll have to see if I can find him.
yeah, and I followed his journey. He got bigger and he moved out the garage and he got a unit, 3,000 square feet, and got some embroidery machines. And I watched him get bigger and bigger. And at this year's January show in Long Beach, he bought the press again from the show. So he's now gone from a 6'8" to a 12'14" compact.
Oh wow, nice.
S-type.
Yes, that's a good jump.
So
good jump.
Proper step up. Yeah, he's got an M&R. He's got an M&R, little 8-colour M&R that he's been using for God knows how long, and they love their M&R. And this is the issue you find. People have brand loyalty because it's all they know. And this machine got delivered 2 weeks ago, and he's not used it because his staff are a bit scared of it because it looks like a spaceship. You know, there's nowhere to store your hammer. And so my task is to get him on board with. He saw us at the show. The guys at Merch Ops, Mike and Bryce, talked to him, and he saw us. He brought his entire crew with him to say, "Look, this is the MHM. This is how good it is. Watch what they do." And we were doing live job changeovers, so we're doing 6 and 7 colour jobs, live changeovers at the show. So he brought his entire print crew. These guys have been printing 25 years on M&Rs. You know, they've got lots and lots of experience. And so when you're doing your changeover, well, we'll do it now if you want. So off we went and took all the screens out, put some new screens in. Before it even cooled down, we pressed sample print and out popped a perfectly in reg print. And they're all like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible. How does that work? So pretty much there and then they made the decision, we're going to buy this machine. You know, this is great. And after some number crunching, they looked at it and went, yeah, absolutely, we'll take this one. Don't send it back to where it's going. We'll ship it straight out to Las Vegas. It's a great idea. Yeah, super, awesome. And then he came to see me and he's like, look, I want what you just did. What you just did there, where you set up a 6-colour job, it's no skill, you don't look through the screens and you just press print and it comes out. That's what I want. All my time is spent on downtime. I said, all right, well, you've made the right choice. You made a good press. You know, you've got your little X-type, but this will be game-changing because you've got more colours. So have you got how are you making your screens? What do you mean? Well, how are you making your screens at the minute? I've got film and an FPU like you. Well, you're not going to get what you just saw. What do you mean? I want that machine, and that machine did that. Yeah, that machine will help you do that, but really, the magic, if you peek behind the curtain, is the CTS unit. You know, it comes from the. It's not a Spider; it's a Dalfit. It's very similar. It's a different company over here called Dalfit. It's like, well, you need that as well. Can't I do it with films? You posted something on Instagram. Using a digital loop and a microscope to line up your crosses and taking more time. And you've probably seen an increase in closeness, but it ain't perfect.
No,
you've still got the squishy bearded thing in the middle.
I'm on a mission right now to see how close I can get to CTS, and I know the answer is it can't be matched, obviously, but I'm sure I can get somewhat closer.
Yeah,
I did have a couple of replies actually who said actually you can get pretty close, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. We'll find out.
I've seen it. Spend more time there and less time on press, definitely. You can get very, very close, especially if you're using the cross the same size as the cross on the crosshair.
Yeah, slightly finer. I think I might adjust my veg marks just ever so slightly.
So it does. It does work. And so anyway, I went up and bought CTS. I said, right, okay, Tony, I want you to come and show my staff what you just did at this show. So, well, you know, it's quite straightforward. But as with any process, I can do 98 jobs on this press, and each one of those 98 jobs will require less than a quarter turn on the adjustment. Some of them almost zero.
Yeah.
And that one job or the 2 jobs out of 100 that require a full turn, which is a millimetre, change, and usually it's twisted, that's when the staff will go, this system shit don't work. It's taken me an hour to get that twist. I could have done it myself. I'm quicker than that. The fucking thing's no use. And they'll completely forget about the 98 times they just threw screens in and started printing. And, no system is completely utterly foolproof, especially when it involves squishy things. So there are 3 places where it can go wrong. Number 1 is the art room. If you're not using, because they weren't using a separation software, so they were making copies and changing things to black and white.
Ah, right.
And just doing that, if you click a little mouse button and just drag something just a touch, the output software doesn't care what the design is.
No.
All it knows is the size of the paper you drew on. That's all it's interested in. So you have to make sure that the artboard inside Illustrator, or what's the other program you use? Canva, is it?
CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW. If you're in America, CorelDRAW. Canva, sure up. Somebody actually sent me some, was it Canva? It could have been Canva artwork the other day.
You and Dave Garrick. Dave Garrick's a CorelDRAW guy. I can't shift
Is
him
he?
from it. Yeah, I can't shift him from it.
It's hard. Well, yeah, same thing. It's hard to undo what you've done for so long.
Yeah, there are things inside that program that you can't do inside Illustrator. Not easily, anyway.
I find the drawing, the tracing vectors, the Bezier tool, so much more intuitive to use. Tony agrees. Turned it back on then. Did you miss it?
I don't even know where it is. Can't even find it to turn it off. But it's on my FaceTime stuff as well, so it must be a setting somewhere.
Oh, God. I enjoy it. It's good. So you've got to ask the question, though. You've got to ask the question. Oh, bless. It does beg the question. Is that a phrase? Beg the question to be asked.
Begs.
Begs the question. Begs the question. When you think about that sentence, it doesn't make sense, does it? Begs. Anyway, it does beg the question. When 1 in 200 jobs require that extra quarter of a turn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, 50 odd grand for a CTS system, isn't it? I'm sure it might even be more expensive than that for those 1 in 200s.
Yeah.
So you almost have to be knocking out some serious work to justify a system like that. Or do you? Open question.
So Isabel at this place, she sat down and did the numbers. She's got absolutely no passion about the machine or anything. Where, as blokes get a little bit, oh look, it's got powder coating. Oh look, it's all welded specially. She's like, no, let me know the numbers. Okay, so what's it going to save me? Okay, so it's taking on average 90 minutes to set up a job, whether it's 2 colours or 6 colours. And can you hear that? I don't think you can hear that. No. Vegas is waking up.
Can you hear that?
No, I can hear something
outside me, or
my
you?
window. I can hear it outside my window, like an aeroplane.
My phone was ringing at the same time. I was like, proper threw me off.
No, she sat down and did the numbers and went, okay, where's the payback? Because it don't print T-shirts, and it's like you say, it's 50 grand, 60 grand over here, and it don't print T-shirts. So how do I get my money back? Well, it gets your money back on downtime. That's the only thing it saves. If they're spending an hour to an hour and a half sometimes setting up job, and he threw one at me. He's telling me we had this really difficult job. It was 5 colours, and it took them 5 hours to set it up. Now that's no reflect. These are 25-year veteran experienced printers, and it doesn't mean they're bad at it. It just means they got really unlucky with twists. They got really unlucky with artwork not fitting. They were force drying the screens on the dryer, so some of the screens were shrinking as well. And so I measured the temperature of the screens. They were up at 160 Fahrenheit, so 80 degrees on the face.
Well, after putting them through a dryer?
No, they're stacking them on top of the outlet of the dryer. where out on outfeed, thinking that they'd
I know
dry
what you mean.
quicker.
Yeah, thinking the hot air would. Yeah.
Which it did. We're all
Yeah, but
guilty
it's
of
just
it.
I've done it. Just gets a bit too hot, doesn't it?
Well, I just happened to have a laser pointer temperature probe going in my hand, and I thought, I wonder what the face temperature of that is, because I put my hand on it and I thought, it's not hot enough for that to do any damage. And when it came up at 160, 180, I'm like, oh no, that's a bit hot. That's 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, centigrade.
Yeah. So many factors.
Yeah, so she basically did her numbers there and then and went, right, okay, we can't buy, there's no point buying that new press if it doesn't come with the super fast registration system. And
no.
It's something I've thought about. We do. I'm guilty of telling people, the MHM registration system is so fantastic, you'll set a job up in 2 minutes. Then I forget. But not if you're on film and FPU, you're not going to guarantee that accuracy. Yeah, sure, you can get it close, but you'll still use some time and some skill lining up your films to your crosswires.
Yeah. It makes it a much more time consusive process. Consuming process.
So
it's added time to my pre-press.
Yeah.
But worth it.
Yeah.
For me.
It can do, yeah. When I ran FPUs, the one thing it got for me was it got the straight and central. So before CTS, we were using film and we had an FPU, and we used to use T-squares and measuring all the time to make sure that the design was placed in the centre of the palette. Not only was it placed in the centre of the palette, but it wasn't twisted. Twisted sister. So that took some time, placing a film, measuring each side, getting a centre line, making sure everything's perfect, and then setting up to that. And we soon adapted to, right, okay, the FPU, the film positioning unit, has just guaranteed it's straight and central.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Twists are the worst thing.
Yeah, but there's no way it can be twisted if I do it properly.
Yeah. No, the pins
and
are
the worst twist I'm going to get is going to be a mill.
Yeah, it's very marginal. I mean, I can get those crosshairs under a loop, and you can see these little very fractional twists under a loop, under a 20 times microscope.
Yeah.
But when you take that loop away, you're like, oh yeah, that's bang on, perfect.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah.
I mean, if you're running jobs that tight, I mean, I feel like your ink's gonna overlap your underbases anyway, ever so slightly, even if you've not got chokes. Just the way it naturally wants to sit over
spread
edge.
It out a little bit.
Yeah. So you can get pretty bob on registration.
Bob on. Yeah, absolutely bob on.
More times than not. Maybe that's a good way of putting it. More times than not. Whereas if you get to a level where you're chucking stuff on a CTS, although I'm sure some would argue, once you've got it set up, you'll be getting it all the time. It'll be very rare that you have issues, I imagine, unless there's something along the process that has just been mishandled.
Yeah, we've got squishy things in the middle that can make a mistake, human error. And what I say is, look, if you get that screen, that 2 out of 100, one of those, and it's not right, take it back out and investigate why. It can only be wrong in 3 places: the press, the output device, and the artwork. They're very easy to test. So to test the press, we would, let's say, print a base white in head 1, try it, and then the screen that goes in head 3, which we think is out, put it back in head 1 where the base white was, and print it again.
Very good. Good so little
put it back into the press. This will tell you what's out, because for a fact the press has not been moved between you taking the screen of the base white out, putting your green screen in, and printing on top. That leads me on a tangent that's actually quite planned.
Oh, that's unusual. A great tip for that.
Which is unusual for us. But that's one. The second one, to check whether your output device is moving things or whether your operator, I've got to admit, it's usually the operator, And it's usually whether the pins are sat firmly in, which is a problem you've had. When you look and the pins aren't sat firmly.
Yeah.
So, and that could be human error. It could be air pressure. It could be a twist. It could be debris inside the. What do you call the little plastic things? Because I'm interested to know what you call them.
Pins.
Pins. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard them called everything from cups, pins, bushings, tits.
I've heard bushings.
Nips.
Tits is blatantly Bryce.
It's blatantly JFP, but no.
All right, yeah. Well, one of the two won it.
So, if you've got a bad screen that didn't fit, make it fit, do the job, and then investigate why. So take the screen out, clean all the ink out, put clear packing tape on the shirt side, put it back into the imaging device and image it again. Print the wax again. Then hold it up to the light and you'll see if it lands in the same place, it wasn't the imaging device. And if we've done the test where we've taken it out of one head and put it back in the base head that's printed the base, we know it's not the press. It can only really be the art. So we can check whether it's the art doing the same thing. Take the screen, clear tape on the shirt side, put it into the CTS unit, and this time don't print the same film, print the base film on top of the green.
See if
and
it
then
lines
you'll
up.
see that they don't actually line up, even when you print two colours on the same screen. So my advice is, you will. No system will give you 100% free registration, and I love this system because I love it because I use it and I see how good it is. But there's no such thing as a 100% success rate. Anything that uses the outside of the frame, I think we're about 80%. I once did a poll on Instagram, and that's pretty true. You get about 80% success rate if you use the outside of the frame. When we use the pins, that goes up to about 98%. But you've still got that variance, and it's usually the human variance. So I've seen it where, when we're doing black and white separation, somebody's moved something. I've seen it where the air pressure on the output device is lower than the air pressure on the press. So where the pin is going in, it's only going into there when it's being imaged, and there when it's being actually held in the press. So there's a measurement. It's a 6 bar when it's held in the press, and it should be 6 bar when it's held in the imaging device.
Bit of crap in tits.
Bit of crap in tits.
You always have a bit of crap in tits. That might cause it.
For anybody listening in America, make sure there's no debris in the inner circle of the bushing that's attached to the frame. Anybody inside West Yorkshire, it's a bit of shit in tits.
I mean, I've seen it on the trying to say Sidewinder, not a Sidewinder. What's the M&R pre-reg?
I don't know.
You forgot his word.
Trilock
system, and I've seen where the slightest bit of crap on us, if I've got mucky frames with bits of tape on and stuff like that, I'm to scrub them off and sand them and get them immaculate, because it's just, even that little bit of grubby tape can make such a difference. And it's the same thing if you've got to build up a water-based ink, because you can miss it as well. You can be washing. It's amazing where water-based ink gets when you're blasting it away. It just gets everywhere, and you can end up, if you don't just double check when you're washing your screens, or unless you're using an auto reclaim, you'll so often find little pools of white ink in the tits.
Auto reclaim does the same, and it's usually dried emulsion remover and emulsion residue. Dip tanks are also to blame. I've seen somewhere you can't even get you can't even see the screw underneath. They're really dirty. And plus, you've got to understand, if you do go to a pin registration system, the bushings, the plastic cups, are on the outside of the frame.
So they can get bashed.
If you store your screen, if you don't have a screen rack where you store all your screens like that, and you stand all your screens on their end, you're standing the screen on concrete floor and you're using the registration device to stand your screens on. Then you drag them across the floor and they get scuffed. So, my advice is, number one, buy a cart, buy a screen cart, get all your screens off the floor. There's no reason to have screens on the floor unless you're just starting and you pretty much day one and you haven't got around to building any racks yet. But if you must store your screens on the floor, store them portrait, not landscape.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So store them on the long side, because that won't hurt the registration device that you've painstakingly attached to every frame.
Yeah, word of precaution.
Where
and tear happens, doesn't it?
I don't know.
If you do that 1,000 times.
We're going on.
I don't know.
We're going to go on a tangent. I don't know where we're going to go.
Amazing, you set off on a tangent and somehow stay on track. That's probably the first time ever.
It's not like me, yeah.
I just love the little tip, and it's something that I might even use as an experiment myself, where print the white screen and then put your colours in the same head.
That's where we're going. So,
got you back.
About 4 years ago, I know you brought me back on track. About 4 years ago, somebody asked me if they knew any sample machines. So in our industry, sampling is an old-fashioned way of creating a proof. So back in day, when
Alex just sold one.
Yeah,
Supreme.
It was a single head, wasn't it? Yeah. Forerunner or something, I think it called.
Possibly M&R.
Yeah. The back in day, you wanted to order some print, you would ideally be ordering more than 10,000. If you're going to put your money down on 10,000 prints, you want to see a strike off first.
Yeah.
Now at 10,000, it's worth while putting 4 hours into making the screens, sticking it on a manual carousel, something like to this day, M&Rs are still the best manual carousels I've ever used, especially the ones that have got a double deck. Chameleon?
Yeah, I would, if I was to rank, Chameleon sits on top.
Yeah.
IMO.
Especially the one with like a double turntable, so you can get 12 colours in the same space as a 6 or 8 colour. And they're so solid.
You don't see them very often.
Very
expensive.
You don't see them for sale very often because they're like rocking horse shit. You cannot buy them for love nor money.
You only buy that once.
They still hold the value of between 8 and 10 grand for a manual carousel, especially with air locks. And somebody asked me, I want a sampling machine, because you would take a strike off, you would post it off. 3 days later, you'd get the approval, and then you'd put it into a proper machine and run it. And somebody asked me, I want a strike-off machine, but I don't have any space. Is there a machine that's unlimited colours? So I did a bit of digging, and I've seen these carousels. So it is still in a carousel or in a 4-bed station. 4 beds in a line.
And it
doesn't use pins. It uses an attachment to the screen. It's like a T that you put on the screen. And that T then sits against a nylon block on the bed. So, in effect, it's a frameless manual print. So,
I see.
You know the table prints? You know the big old tables that you see?
Similar type of system.
So the guy picks the screen up, walks along, drops it down into a peg, prints it, picks it up, drops it down into a peg. That system, but instead of 100 tables, either 4 tables or 1 table, which means that you can have as many colours as you want.
Yeah.
So you've got a little cart at the side of you, say with 10 screens in. Each screen's got a squeegee and ink in it. And so you just... We pull the screen out. So once Keith's passed you his screen, so you pull your screen out, put it against the pegs, print one colour, put it back in the rack, pull the next screen out, push it against the pin, the stud, if you like,
T-bar.
and keep printing. Yeah, and I don't see much over here. And the guy asked me, and I went, okay, let's have a look. And there are a couple, but they tend to be home built. So they don't fit into the pin registration system. So it will be a matter of taking a print, and if it's not right, moving the T-bar.
Yeah.
And again, we're back down to perception rather than anything. And I saw a video online. Where was it? Oh, it was Angelo Barzaghi, which is the guy I was working with in Milan, if you remember. Is a real master printer, serigraphic artist.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
He's got an academy in Italy and stuff. Really highly respected, well-skilled printer. And I know where he is in Italy. The dealer in Italy is also responsible for the off-contact twists on the MHMs. Because he had a customer complaining that they kept vibrating, so he found that little locking collar solution.
Nice.
So I know he's really good friends with him, and he posted a video the other day, and I shared it on my post of doing a 6-color job with a 1 station. So this is taking CTS and the pin system onto the sampling stage, where all we need is a print head that uses the same technology as your print head. I'll be the print arm. I'll pull the squeegee. Yeah. Notice pull, not push. We'll pull the squeegee. I'll pull the squeegee towards me, and then when I've done my 1 print, back into the rack, I would flash, but he used a hot air gun. Not going to judge.
Yeah.
Hot air gun, gets the next colour, lays it, clicks it into the head, and does a print. I'm like, yeah, that works. That works really well as a unlimited colour sampling machine. And what better way to highlight how good the CTS and pin system is than to do all of your colours printed in the same head? That's where I was going.
I feel like that could do with being made. I'd want one of those. That'd be perfect. I'd run every job, every multicolour job through that press first, and it would be a sampler, not necessarily to give to customers, but purely for myself. That would be my test.
Yeah.
Reg test, if you like.
Well, why don't you be my test? Why don't you do it for me? Oh, you can't. You don't use CTS. I'll do it. I'll do a video of it. I'm in Minneapolis.
Well, I need the machine first as well.
Well, you've got the machine there. You just use one of the heads.
Oh, I guess you could, couldn't you? Yeah. Well, I want to do that experiment. No, I want to do that experiment. No, but I want to do it to see how close I am getting.
Yeah, that's your ultimate test. Same head. Clip it in, clip it out.
I'm going to do it. That 6-colour job, before I put them on each head, I'm going to do them on head 1. I'm going to see how close I actually am. And if it's not close, job 2, I'm going to do it on that one. And I'm going to see if I can get closer every time.
It's a perfect test.
I shall report my findings.
I'll do the same thing using, I think I've got a laser up in Minneapolis. And I've usually got some time to do some test prints and some videos. I'll do the same thing. We'll test how good it is.
I tell you what, that would make a decent little episode if we both did it, because it would be a case of how close actually can you get to CTS.
Is Danny
with
better
film.
than the machine? Yeah.
No.
Laser versus squishy thing.
Danny versus CTS.
Yeah, there you go.
So that sounds like you're having a fantastic time in Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, so my first day working
setting up the press, selling it basically.
Dave came in, drove up from Long Beach, followed the press in, built it all up. It's all built perfectly. It's all straight. It's all solid. You know, Dave is superb at setting these presses up. And
I love a guy.
I've followed him in now with zeroing everything out, and we're proving to the customer that just because the salesman's lips were moving, he actually, for a change, wasn't lying.
Yeah.
And then one of the reasons is Isabel and Arvin said to me, you know, one of the main reasons we bought this is we spoke to the people that use it. Yeah, we spoke to you for a long time, but Mike and Bryce, were there,
Yeah.
and they said, "We use this in our shop." All right, so is it as good as the guy said? Yeah, it works every time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're not getting paid to sell it; they're just sort of like there to look pretty. And
Proof is in the pudding. I guess that's what you can say. That's all it comes down to.
I'll be honest with you. We're testing it this morning. In about an hour's time, if I've got an Uber booked to get out of Las Vegas as quickly as possible, then somebody fucked up somewhere. But
It'll
right
be
now,
fine.
and so guess what he's chosen? Again, the Nemesis Tony strikes again.
Oh,
8-colour job that he's never printed before. High half tones, full flesh coverage, posterized boxing. Something to do with boxing. There's a boxing match in Las Vegas.
a lot of boxing in Vegas. A lot of boxing.
All right. Well,
Boxing. Vegas was the home of boxing, but now it's Saudi Arabia. But
did you read that? Or did you know that?
That is a Danny Donald off at top at Dome fact.
Danny Donald off at top at Dome.
I don't know who it'll be, but
It's got a
if you
strange
said
name.
who it was, I'd have told you. But yeah,
Something love.
but that's a way to test it. Some at love.
Love. Something love. Like Molotov or Kobolov or something. You'll see it today.
Oh yeah. Well, I should tell you all the facts related to said boxer and said boxing opponent. But that's a way to test it, isn't it? Really, if we're honest, I know it's a bit of a daunting test for you in a way. But
I would like to have tested it with a white
and
flash
a little
white
boxing
first.
bit of text.
Yeah, a little white flash white that said palm print. I'd like to have done that as a test and go, right,
Comic Sans text. Whitewater based.
Sans text. Yeah, whitewater based with a bit of puff.
So we move on quickly.
Yeah,
you know, in Las Vegas, over 300 weddings happen every day in Las Vegas. A lot of people who get married in Vegas elope. What does that mean, elope?
Run away without permission. Or do it on slide, just you two.
Ah.
So if you and Ailey would elope to Gretna Green, where you can get a 24-hour wedding license, you don't need to go through all rigmarole.
Ah. And so, in fact...
Were you listening here?
She's not listening. She's not seeing this episode. I'm going to block it off of YouTube. In fact, there are dozens of walk-in wedding venues that let you tie a knot at the drop of a hat. You can get married by an Elvis impersonator, become spouses in less than 10 minutes, and even rent a wedding dress on the spot.
Yeah. Mate, I've walked around, I've seen 4 people getting married in the wedding dresses.
It's the city of vices. That's a good way to put it. If you've got a vice, Las Vegas will pull them out of you.
It's the capital city of vices, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want a vice, if you haven't already got one, you can get one here.
Oh God, what a place! What a place! One day, have you seen the big round door?
I saw it flying in, and I saw it flying in, and I saw it yesterday driving. You two were playing as I were flying in. Mate, it's impressive. It really is.
I can imagine.
You can't, I mean, Times Square and all these places that are lit up and the billboards and advertising, they're all impressive. But that thing, wow, absolutely superb. And yesterday, it's just there on the skyline. You can't miss it. It's just huge and really impressive. There's rumours of one coming to London.
Yeah, I was watching a video about that. In a really, a slightly, in one of the districts that you wouldn't expect. Not a busy shopping place, just like an housing district or something.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, think about it. We seem to get a great big Ferris wheel for absolutely no reason. Somebody decided to build like the world's biggest Ferris wheel, and then that appeared in lots and lots of cities as well. We called it the London Eye and the Dubai Eye and else, Paris Eye. So yeah, if we can do that, then absolutely let's get a venue like that, which is just mind-bogglingly huge.
I bet it's cool. It's cool. Would you like an auntie moire? Not an auntie moire in ages.
Yeah, I thought she might
This is actually
a
Christmas.
I thought we'd upset her.
No, this is a Christmas auntie moire. No, I
thought you got fed up with writing them, Danny. So.
Mystery solved. Dearest boys, with a Z. How's it hanging? Also with a Z. I have been enjoying the chit-chat between you two on the recent subjects and appreciate all you do for us mere mortals out here. That Christmas special was a treat to listen to in my cosy armchair and slippers with a piece of fruitcake and dribbles paired away. I'm not going to make a joke about dribbles. We were running some plastisol transfers on the manual again.
Oh my God, dribbles them. No.
I thought it was his wife. Oh dear.
No.
Go. We were. I didn't want to do any work on this episode, but I've got loads to cut out. We were running some plastisol transfers on the manual again this week, and it got me thinking about manual presses. I love using them, but my biceps are not what they used to be. I can kick through about 120 garments an hour, but run out of puff after about an hour and 2 minutes. Cough, cough. That's some good going, 120 in an hour. Have you ever tried running plastisol transfers on an auto? Let me know whether this is possible and worth doing on big runs. I would suspect it's actually better, surely.
It's a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better. The only sort of one of the downsides is placement. So last time I ran transfers on an auto, to make my life easier, I was using a guillotine to cut between them. So think of a back neck on an A4 piece of paper. You get about 16 on there, and you can just cut straight down. And after messing about with the scissors for a while, I thought, I can guillotine these. So that's when I fell foul. If we only use one bed with 3, let's say, feed edge marks cut out card, then we can pretty much guarantee that all the transfers are in the same place in relation to the sheet.
Yeah.
Now, if we use 12 beds, getting that position is not as accurate. So if you're not cutting the transfers out, as in back necks and cutting individual badges out, then, and you're just doing, let's say, a one logo per sheet,
centered thing.
No problem.
Yeah.
As long as it's somewhere on the sheet, it doesn't fucking matter. But if you're relying on perfect placement, then it's a bit more difficult. Multicolour is also difficult because the paper curls up under the flash.
Somebody needs to fix that problem. It's only paper. Come on. Pull your fingers out.
You can get vacuum pallets for the machines.
Yeah, but so we can...
Up in Bolton, there's a guy with a 12 colour, and it's got 12 vacuum pads on it.
Wow, that's cool. But, that being said, somebody can invent paper that don't curl.
Yeah, we do range it to 120 degrees. It gets quite warm. The only solutions I've seen are basically taping it down or overlapping it with another piece of paper.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not good enough. Someone needs to develop paper that don't curl.
So the short answer is yes, absolutely, 100%. If you've got some nice, simple colours transfers to do, one of my advice is to make a screen with the outline of the edge of the paper, the feed edge, and print that in water-based onto all the pallets. So you've got an exact...
I like it.
An exact...
An outline.
I wouldn't do all 4. I'd do bottom left-hand corner. And then you've got something very close to go. So, if it's a long run. If it's not, then we've got lasers, but we tend not to be very accurate with lasers on paper.
What you could do... this is going back to the old... This is the type of thing you do on a manual, or if you're printing paper stock, where you make little tabs for sheets to...
Yeah, the card feed edge
into
tabs.
Corners.
Yeah. Which you can do on one, but when you're trying to do that on them all, trying to use a laser to do that as well, it gets a little bit difficult. Which it doesn't matter if it's single colour and 1 or 2 pieces per sheet, but if you're going multiple pieces per sheet, a gang sheet if you like, and if you're doing heaven forbid, if you're brave enough to put it down the dryer at 90 degrees and then bring it back for your second colour instead of flashing it. I've done that.
Yeah,
my only advice to that is put all the paper through the dryer first. before you
I've
put
heard that. A
anything
bit like
onto
if you're
it.
printing hoodies.
Pre-shrink, yeah. So you pre-shrink the paper,
Pre-shrink.
and then print the red, put it down the dryer, print the blue, put it down the dryer, and then back the whole thing up with white with an overlap. But you've got to get that temperature right. Too hot, and it shrinks and curls. Much better to try and guess the flash. DTF, absolutely. DTF has replaced that completely.
It's getting there, isn't it? It's almost.
I like DTF.
The answer.
DTF is a perfect complement to screen printing that DTG promised it would be. DTG promised to complement screen printing for the small run, multiple colour, complicated work. And it never quite delivered on its promise. Whereas I believe DTF promised to complement screen printing, not replace, complement. And every single aspect of DTF that I've seen on my travels has held up its end of the bargain, and it does complement screen printing.
Yeah, I think that's the best
By
way
the
to
way,
put
it's
it.
in every print shop I go. It's very, very rare now. I go to a print shop and there's no DTF in there.
Isn't it crazy how quick that took off? Last year, you wouldn't have said that last year?
No.
Like almost
it
overnight.
Took off because
we talked about it about 20 episodes ago.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for the royalty check. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
basically.
It's successful because it works. It fills a hole we didn't really know we had. That goes back to Dribbles the cat, yeah.
I knew that was coming.
That's what she said.
Oh, God. We're just children.
Yeah, no, I'm a dad. They were dad jokes.
Oh, dear.
So,
we're going back to filling holes in?
It certainly fills the hole that we didn't really know we had. In that, how do we get around that small, multiple colour, small piece order? Print and cut used to do it with the old Roland print and cut, Memarki print and cut, but it felt like a sticker. It felt like a vinyl sticker on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it was. If we're honest, this is almost. I still don't know personally from what I've seen if it's in screen print, but it's an in between screen print and vinyl. It's somewhere. It's way closer to that level.
You wouldn't buy a vinyl printer now.
No. That whole Versacam market must be.
It killed it.
Fuming.
Killed it dead. I think
for the garment industry.
The reason it works is it's very, very simple technology that wasn't patented. So it wasn't like...
So it can be developed.
Yes, it wasn't one of the big guys who went, right, okay, we found a way to print T-shirt ink onto a carrier sheet and get some glue on it and print it. It was probably a Chinese manufacturer who went, my CMYK print will do that, my white will print on that. And all we have to do is sprinkle some powder on it. And somebody's gone, oh, well, if you can do that, I can do that. Well, if I can, well, I can do that. And then all of a sudden, all the manufacturers didn't change anything at all about their inks. They didn't change the film carrier. They didn't change the machine. It's still a CMYK printer, relatively cheap to make. And it works. Yeah, sure, there are nuances of getting the right paper and ink and powder to get the feel and the opacity you want. But that's true in any sort of decoration technique. You know, I famously played about with DTG for a long time, and I got the remit was make this look good, and I got the best looking print I've ever seen. It was bright, it was soft, it had just the right of everything in there. And when I showed it to the owner, I was like, "What do you think?" Oh, it's fucking superb. That's absolutely blows me away. It's that good, it blows me away. Oh, by the way, how much ink is on there? Well, so it's a £1.50 Gildan, and I've put £8 worth of ink on it. Can't do it. There's no point. Stop there. I can't sell it. Whereas the DTF, it's relatively cheap to get the substrate, the powder, the ink, and the press, the machine. And the skill level is quite low. It's just heat pressing. So I it's a definite compliment. It will never replace screen print, but it absolutely complements it. We had a discussion yesterday. I've got an Aspie rapid tag, the little rapid tags.
Yeah.
I've got an ink cup pad printer, and we've got 500. And we've got 500 back next to do. So, which process are we going to use? So the ink cup is just a pad printer.
Yeah.
The rapid tag, I have to make a little screen, or I could put it on the MHM and have it done in about 20 to 25 minutes on the sleeve boards, sleeve pans.
Oh, so okay, MHM,
are you? Gave them the options. Which one we're going to use straight away without even thinking. No discussion. It wasn't up for debate. We'll just ETF them. Really? Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Carol from accounts can print them. It's
thumbs up, Carol.
Carol from accounts can print them, and Derek from dispatch can press them.
Yeah.
It's just not an issue. Whereas my printer is printing the fronts, so I can't take him off. Nobody else knows how to use the Aspie. No. The pad printer I haven't got any ink for. So it's a no-brainer. DTF them. And nobody thought about the cost, the intricacies.
Just cool.
Yeah. There's a video of a guy in the Gildan factory, a Chinese guy in the Gildan factory.
Yellow t-shirts.
With yellow t-shirts. And that fucking video has sold more pad printers around the world than I've ever known.
It is.
I went to a place not long ago, and there was a pad printer and a rapid tag at side of each other. I asked the question, which is fastest? Now the pad printer was ever so slightly, about 50 to 60 an hour faster. The rapid tag was faster. The rapid tag took 2 people, and the pad printer only took 1. No dryer.
I'm team transfer when it comes to net labels. I have been for a fair few years now, to be honest. I barely run them. Yeah,
DTF all day long. Inno printer used to be good. If you're, let's say,
that's what I use.
Have you got an Inno printer?
Well, not the actual. All right, then I use the same company. I don't use their. They want me to come and have a look at one in Printwear Promotions.
Oh, right, okay. So you've got the little single heat press.
I've got a single heat press. I don't have the one that's on a loop.
Oh, right, okay.
I have a heat press, and I get the transfers from them. But they want me to go look at the actual machine that's on a triangle, and it just runs it through.
Good. Last time I sort of advised anybody to get one of these was a streetwear firm that it was the guys at Hobo
Jack. Same one over and over.
They do the same thing over and over again, and they thought it was so good that they ended up buying 5. One for medium, one for large,
now.
one for medium, large, extra large. I don't think they have now, so I don't think they print anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
But they instead of changing over reels, they bought another press and had it constantly set up. So it's basically, what size is this? A large. Take it over and stamp it, and come back.
Cool.
Just dead simple.
So if I do go to Printwear Promotions, I'm going to have a look at that. Out of curiosity.
That's next month.
You're going, Printwear?
I'll be here still.
Oh gosh, you're here.
Yeah, I don't. My diary is basically full now over here on consulting until 9th of March, and then 11th of March I'm consulting in Belgium, then from Belgium straight over to Amsterdam.
Bloody hell. Never stops, Tony, lad. Never stops.
Nope.
Hey, have you heard the news?
Nope.
Yeah, you have. Boo. Boo. I thought it was just a rumour.
This raises, because the rumour was the day before. This raises a question that I didn't think I'd have to answer. And somebody, it was my son. My son's into F1, because of me. And he's a massive McLaren fan. Okay? That's his team. He chose McLaren. superb. I used to be McLaren, and then my favourite driver. I know I don't say the name because I know it upsets you. My favourite driver.
I want an icon that thumbs go down.
It might be one. It might do it.
No,
it doesn't do it. No, it doesn't do it.
Can't be negative, can you?
Only
these days?
positive, yeah. My favourite driver moved teams, although the team was only created, and my allegiance followed my favourite driver. And somebody said, well, that's wrong, you shouldn't do that, because they used the football analogy. If your team sells their star striker to the opposite team, do you then start following that team? And you don't. So I don't really support a team. I support a driver. I've got a favourite driver.
No, I'm Sam. Yeah.
So now I'm stuck. Do I stay with the team that I've been supporting for the last 13 years? Or do I follow the driver into a team I've never really been convinced about?
No, you follow the driver. I've never been much of a team. If I were to pick a team, it would have been Ferrari. That's just gone out the window. But I've always been a driver fan.
So when you make it big on your auto press, the first cars you're going to buy is going to be an Aston Martin now, and not
it will
Ferrari.
be now. Yeah. I've actually got like a Ferrari plaque downstairs on my wall. It's just come off. It's just got it in bin. Honestly, it ruins your life, doesn't it?
I didn't realise that the level of dislike had reached that height. That you.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's obviously Lewis Hamilton and moving to Ferrari.
Probably don't know what we're talking about.
No, Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari team next year. That's what we're talking
Absolutely ruined my life. Thanks for that, Lewis.
So, what would you do if Max moved teams to a real proper driving racing team rather than a soft drinks firm? Would you follow
change?
him?
That's what. Yeah, I like drivers. I like drivers. I like Schumacher. So obviously, but the nostalgia in me loves Ferrari, but I've never particularly been impressed by Ferrari since the Schumacher days, to be honest. Schumacher ran that team with Ross Brawn and John Todd, just night and day to what it's ever been, ever since. But I've always had that, you sort of wish him well, still.
Yeah.
But it's always driver. Schumacher, Max, Vettel.
Mansell. I go back to Nigel Mansell. And
do you know what I liked?
Nigel Mansell and Damon Hill.
I was never big. I mean, I wasn't really around for Damon Hill days, but I would, in hindsight, not massively impressed. I wasn't even born. I tell you what, I actually liked a lot Montoya, because he just didn't give a shit. He was counter F1. None of his politics, none of the bullshit.
Yeah,
Montoya. It was just pure out and out racing. That's why he did so well in America when he went to America again, because it was just about racing then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's gone downhill a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah,
left time.
I've got to go.
I'm going to say, I thought so. Well, hopefully this has been a nice short.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Jesus.
4 o'clock here.
8 o'clock in the morning, yeah. I've proper got to go.
I've got an hour left. So that's
I might be back in an hour if that fucking job doesn't register.
Well, I'll stick around at work for an extra hour.
I'll try not to send you any videos at 11 o'clock at night this time as well. So.
Well, it's all right, because that's only like tea time for me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, of course that'd be a real... Anyway
8 hours. I'm 8 hours
70.
different. 8 hours different. You're just going home, I'm just starting work.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, everybody, please let us know how that went. Was that good for you? Did you enjoy that? Did you take anything away? I took away the old running all of your screens on the same head to check how well you've registered, how well you've lined up your films. I'm going to do that. So that was a great little takeaway for me for this episode. How about you? Please leave it in the comments. And Tony, if you want to sign out, that'll be quite lovely.
I thought you were going to leave you to it. I thought you were on a roll there. I was like, can you remember early days we were just sort of like, hi, this is Tony. And you were off on it then. You were away for it. So I will sign out. We'll say goodbye. You have been listening to me, Tony P from Palm Print. And...
It's actually Daniel James Donald from the Flipping Sweet Print Co. based in Bridlington, but we do provide the entire UK, if we're honest. If you're in need of any t-shirts printing or like that, just hook a brother up and I'll sort you out.
I'm sure this is contractually obliged somewhere. What kind of press do you have, Daniel?
Well, I've actually got an MHM press from MHM Direct GB LK UMP Limited. Copyright do not be infringing on any trademarks. If you do need an auto, get in touch with Potter's lads and they'll sort you out.
There, are you done now? Can we sign out now?
That's it. Obligation.
Fulfilled. Right, so you have been listening and watching to us rattle on about screen print related stuff. If you do like what you hear and see, then make some sort of interaction.
Get help.
Yeah.
Go to your doctor.
Stop taking the medication. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to the video. It doesn't cost you out, and it might seem like note to you, which is nothing in English. It might seem like nothing to you, but the algorithm is always looking for us, and the more interaction we get, the more popular we get, and the more our egos are stoked, because we are just gentle creatures that need some sort of outside affirmation to continue. So, help us out a little bit and like, subscribe and comment. And all that remains to be said now is I'll sieve it.
Chippy Tea.
I'll sieve it.
Chippy Tea. I want
All
a
best.
Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me.